You know that feeling when your body just won't cooperate anymore? When you wake up tired, your jeans feel tighter every week, and no amount of coffee can fix the fog in your mind? That was me. Exhausted, inflamed, and completely disconnected from my body. Until I did something that most people think it's impossible. I stopped eating. Not for a day, not for 2 days, but for 3 weeks. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happened to my body. The shocking, beautiful transformation that long-term fasting created. I'm talking real fat loss, soft, glowing skin, steady energy, and mental clarity I hadn't felt in decades. So if you tried every diet, every cleanse, and still feel trapped in your own body, stay with me. Because I'm going to show you a completely different way to heal from the inside out. This isn't intermittent fasting. This is extended fasting, anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, that changes everything. Hi, I'm Basswood, and for almost 30 years I've explored extended fasting. Not the 16-hour fasts you see on social media, but a real 3 to 6 week fasts. I'm not a doctor, and I've never been medically supervised during a fast. What I'm about to share comes from personal experience, repeated, consistent, and transformative. Over these decades, I've seen extraordinary changes in my own body and in my family, from fat loss to healing to incredible mental clarity and peace. So if you're tired, stressed, or feel like your body is working against you, this could be the missing piece you've been looking for. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 shocking things that happened to my body after a 3-week fast. Things that completely changed my health, mindset, and daily life. You will learn how fasting triggers natural fat burning, clears the skin, boosts your energy, and even enhances your creativity and emotional resilience. I'll also share how this practice helped me temporarily overcome endometriosis and conceive naturally. Plus, how my family experienced profound healing through long-term fasting. But before we begin, I need to emphasize one thing. This isn't medical advice. It's my own story, my experience, and what I've personally observed over the decades of fasting. If you will be tempted to try it out for yourself after this video ends, I can help you, but keep your doctor in the loop, because this is vital. Alright, let's begin. The first shocking thing that happens on a 3-week fast is a total body fat reduction. So during a 3-week fast, I typically lose between 8 and 12 kilograms, and the changes are visible everywhere. I mean, even on my face and on my fingers. And I have my father's fingers, so when I am slim, they are not as puffy. And it's not just about the scale, it's how your body feels. It feels lighter, it feels cleaner, and it somehow feels more alive. And yes, there's usually a small rebound afterward, but the reset it gives your metabolism and hormones is incredible. And also, men often lose even more, but for women, especially those in their 40s and 50s, this can be a turning point regarding their hormones. Now the second shock, and honestly one of my favorite parts, was how dramatically my skin changed. After about the second week of extended fasting, my skin becomes soft and clear, almost like baby skin. And during a longer 6-week fast, the cellulite on my legs and behind disappears. And there's a glow to my skin that no serum or diet ever gave me. Now, I remember last Christmas when all of my family was gathered for the holidays. I was shocked to see my niece for the first time in 6 months. Her face was unrecognizable. Now, don't misunderstand. I knew who she was. I just didn't recognize her. Almost every part of her face was covered with angry red bumps, some white at the tips and some nearly purple, and some as big as my thumb. And her amazing blue eyes were almost hidden behind them. She's not fat, in fact, she has a body of a swimmer, but her face reflects what she eats. Now, we talked a bit after the dinner, and she confessed that she prefers Nutella and her sugar cereal for breakfast and fast foods like McDonald's for lunch. If she didn't train 5 days a week, she'd probably be unrecognizable in her body as well. Now, I couldn't tell her about fasting, she's only 15 years old, and fasting would dramatically lower the inflammation on her skin. But I did tell her about the harmful side effects of takeaway and what mindful eating has done for me in the last few weeks. Because when it comes to fasting, healthy, glowing skin is the reflection of your body finally healing from the inside. When your digestive system resets, your skin becomes a mirror of that internal peace. Now, the third thing that shocked me more than the weight loss was how my energy became stable. Once your body switches from glucose to fat burning, those wild sugar crashes just disappear. I stopped feeling tired after meals because there were no meals. Today, even with my project Mindful Eating fully in progress, I still get the crashes almost on the hour. 2 p.m. I start to get sleepy. So I hear the time is pretty universal, but my friends did tell me that they crash around 4 p.m. So I would dearly like to know, how about you? Did you ever pay attention of the drowsiness that follows after lunch? And what I'd really like to know is if certain kinds of foods helped you to eliminate it entirely. And because since I don't drink coffee to help me stay awake, I'd really appreciate any suggestions you might have. However, during a fast, energy becomes consistent, calm, clean, and focused. It's hard to describe it unless you've felt it, but it's something like your body runs on pure efficiency. Now, the fourth transformation happens in my gut. I begin to experience regular, natural bowel movements again, something I hadn't had in years and I still struggle with every 2 to 3 days. But with fasting, my digestion becomes effortless, and with it comes this feeling of lightness, as if I was floating while I'm walking. And when you give your digestive system rest, your gut microbiome finally rebalances. Inflammation goes down, and that constant heaviness vanishes. For everyone struggling with bloating, IBS, or sluggish digestion, this alone makes extended fasting worth exploring. All right, here's where it gets personal. When I was 29, I was told that having children would be difficult. I was diagnosed with endometriosis. And this answered the question that I was asking myself since I was 12. I always wondered, why do I have such heavy bleeding? Why do my cramps feel similar to labor contractions and headaches and sickness? And all of these symptoms were the sign of the disease. Now, I spent 4 years in treatment, shooting up artificial hormones every other month, getting ready to be pregnant. And that lasted for 4 years, until I finally said enough. I declined the next procedure a few weeks before Christmas and decided to have a break from my shifting moods, from raging hormones, and endless hope that this month is going to be different, only to be disappointed in a couple of weeks. And to say that 4 years was stressful is an understatement. So me and my husband decided to have a break and to shift our focus away from having a baby. And the best way to do it was to come up with another stressful project, and we decided to get married. Now, 6 months of preparation, the most wonderful day possible, and a very eventful honeymoon after, we decided to give pregnancy another go. Now, my body was clear of artificial hormones, but not the disease that was keeping me from conceiving. So I remembered after 4 years, maybe I could try fasting. 6 weeks just flew by and I felt incredible. I was almost glowing. And a month after, I tried another IVF procedure. This time I declined the hormones and only consented to the egg harvesting. And 2 weeks later, I was pregnant. And it was the most beautiful, complication-free pregnancy. 2 years later, another one followed. So I know the stress, I know the planning and the hope that go hand in hand with IVF. I've experienced it firsthand for years. Now, I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm telling you what worked for me. I cleaned up my body of stress and artificial hormones by taking time away from everything. The hospitals, the procedures, the waiting rooms, the hopeful faces waiting to hear the blood results, and the constant disappointment. And then I cleaned my body of endometriosis. Fasting flushed it out. And I had a small window of time to conceive before it returned. And it worked. Now, my family has seen remarkable stories too. Brain tumors disappearing, lung cancer gone, breast cancer gone, all with the help of a 6-week fast. Again, this is not medical advice, but it's undeniable that the body has profound healing potential when given the chance to rest. All right, enough with the heaviness. This should be an uplifting video. Now, the 6th shock wasn't physical, it was mental. Around day 10 or halfway into the fast, I usually experience an incredible surge of clarity, focus, and creativity. I once outlined an entire 25-chapter novel in just 2 hours. My memory improved, my focus sharpened, and my mind felt spacious and calm. It's as if fasting clears the mental clutter, giving your brain the same reset your body gets. And if you ever said, I just can't think straight anymore, imagine what your life could look like if your brain felt clear again. And it can. You just can't eat anything for 3 weeks. Now, the 7th shock is freedom. To be exact, time freedom. No cooking, no shopping, no dishes, just space. I save hours every single day when I'm cooking, even when I'm cooking for the rest of my family. I had more time to walk, journal, and simply be outside. It sounds simple, but when food stops running your schedule, you rediscover who you are without constant cravings or distractions. I even noticed how much money I saved. No snacks, no impulsive food buys. Fasting gave me not just health, but time and peace. And that's something no diet, no supplement, and no New Year's resolution has ever done. So these were the 7 shocking things that happened to my body after a 3-week fast. And every one of them changed my life. Extended fasting gives me back my health, my energy, my creativity, and a deep sense of peace with my body. It's not always easy, not by a long shot, but it's real, it's powerful, and it's worth it. If you're curious about how to safely begin your own fasting transformation or want to explore other healing methods, watch my next video on the Royce fasting method. It's a gentle yet powerful way to support your body's natural healing. And if you need support from my side, my contacts are in the description. Fasting is hard, no matter the benefits. You need to be willing to be uncomfortable to get the benefits, and I can help. I hope this video sparked an interest that will bloom into a decision and eventually set you on your own fasting journey. And maybe you'll discover other benefits I didn't cover in this video. Until next time.